Hi everyone, and welcome back to Effective Leadership Strategies in the Workplace. Today we're going to be talking about systems and how you can leverage systems to be a more effective and more efficient and more practical leader in your workplace. A system is a combination of things, a combination of parts or actions or behaviors that make a whole. They form a whole. A system is a particular set of actions for getting something done. A system creates value, such as in leadership's case, it creates transparency and consistency, and I would even argue some levels of equity in terms of practices which lead to a more effective and a more efficient workplace. And when I'm talking about equity, when you have a system, the system doesn't change regardless of who's following the system, who the system is immediately impacting. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what your experience is. It doesn't matter what your education is. It doesn't matter how old or how young you are or how physically able or disabled you are. The system remains consistent regardless of who is implementing it and who is going to be affected by it. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of creating a sense of equity. If any parts of a system are not working or misused or misplaced, then the system doesn't function effectively. So the key is to make sure that you're developing, creating, implementing a system that is consistent and that has been transparently shared with everyone who's going to be impacted and affected by the system. You want to make sure that everyone is aware of what the system is. So it's documented, not in here, because this is fallible, right? It doesn't exist in your head. It exists on paper, in documentation. You can even put it in a folder. You can put it, in your computer, but everyone needs to have access so there's complete clarity about how the system works, how all the parts come together to make the system work effectively. Processes are actually the related activities within the system that work together, right? All of them have to work together to make the system function. If you think about it, the system is the what. It's about what value are you bringing to the organization? What value are you bringing to the function or to the department? The process is the how. How are we going to use all of the pieces to make the system function effectively? Now, I'll give you an example. If you take one particular system, let's say it's communication. Let's say it's with maybe a receptionist at your office or in your organization. There is a process, there are a set of functions and actions that the receptionist engages in that they're going to use every single day as a part of delivering great customer service, great energy, right? And to make sure that they're managing the system effectively. So if that receptionist happens to be out of work for the day, then who's going to take over that function? If you bring someone else in to manage that function, are they following the phone protocol properly? Are they managing the customer service interactions properly? Are they engaging with clients and stakeholders properly? If a system is in place and is documented, then anyone who's coming in to fill in for that receptionist can read what the system is about, can read about how to integrate and implement the system, and then put that system into action so that your organization doesn't miss a beat. When you think about systems, I like to think about standard operating procedures, right? Those are the things that regardless of who is sitting in that position of leadership, those things are implemented consistently and transparently and honestly. It's the consistency which builds the trust. So if you have a particular process when you're handling your finances in your organization, if you have all of those steps written down, the actual function and each of the processes, remember those are the parts of the system, each of the steps that were put into place to make that system function, then regardless of who is sitting in your shoes or acting in your role while you're out, that system is going to be implemented and you won't miss a beat. So let's take something like onboarding. There is a system to onboarding. There is a process for onboarding. There's lots of little processes that are involved. So the system that's going to take place is the actual onboarding. The processes within that system are going to be the welcome, the company packet, who's responsible for what, how you go about onboarding somebody, all of the steps, what happens at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the onboarding. What do you give to that employee once they're identified as a full-time or as a permanent employee? Well, those are lots of little steps, and you want to make sure, especially for something as important as onboarding, that everyone is following the same consistent steps. So every new employee has a consistent, high quality, open and transparent process when they're coming into your organization. It doesn't matter whether the person implementing the system is a high energy people person or a low energy person. If the system says that I follow these steps, then I follow these steps. And that way there creates equity and consistency among the new employees that are coming into your organization. So I want everyone to think about effective systems. Remember, systems are the what, processes are the how. And it's all of the processes that function together to create the actual system. That system creates honesty, transparency, consistency, and equity in your leadership practices. I want to thank everyone for joining me today as we talked about systems and how they impact effective leadership strategies in the workplace. Thank you so much for joining me, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, if you need to contact me or you would like one-on-one consultation, you can contact me at melanie@engageandlead.com or engageandlead.com. Thanks so much and have a great day.